It's me. I missed yesterday's stream, as it goes sometimes. Oh, hello, Insect Lol. It's me. That is true. I'm glad you still remember all the commands. Oh, it's a tough life. It's a tough life right now. I was wanting to cancel today's stream as well, because as the end of the year starts to roll around, there's also just a general code freeze across a lot of industries. So there's a code freeze in like about 2 weeks. So the schedules are really tight right now. Not allowed. Well, unfortunately, I skipped yesterday, so you might need to stab me. You won't. What are you gonna do? Stab me? Code freeze, yeah, code freeze. Everyone loves a good code freeze, right? Which is an industry term for not allowing any more changes. Because you need to, basically at Christmas time, end of the year is the busiest part of the year for a lot of pieces of software, because everyone's just taking it off. Because a lot of industries around the world are Western centric, so a lot of schedules are built around the idea that most people will take Christmas off. And I suppose like the most people that actually use like online services and stuff are in the West. Or even like, I think if we're talking about, you know, like Asian countries, right? Like lots of people in, like I know Hong Kong take Christmas off, even though I don't know how many people over there take or identify as Christians. They just take it off. Just because. But yeah, no, I was working on a game jam thing, but I didn't have time yesterday. I was working for a while. Worked a lot of hours yesterday. We'll need to work a bit after the stream as well, just professional stuff. It's a tough life, since I need to get everything done by like next week and then get a sign off. Yeah, how have you been if you're still around? What I'm going to be doing is making some changes for this application here. So this is the latest and greatest version. It should be more performance, but I'm not sure if it is. It's always kind of hard to tell if it's more performant. I know that it's not actually working as intended because it's not taking the frame rates as a parameter. So I must be feeding in an incorrect value, at least on Windows. I feel like I don't know. It's a bit tough. It's a bit tough. Or I wonder if it's based on my actual camera. So it's when I start up the face tracker, I do try to feed in 12 FPS, as you can see here, but my actual webcam cannot go lower than like 30 FPS. Like it's a hardware limitation. I wonder if that's it. Or I wonder if this just has not been updated for whatever reason. So if we go into config manager, so we have the tracker FPS, that's 12. Yeah, that makes sense. Then in OpenCFace GD, we do that. I wonder if it's an OpenCFace thing. Like maybe it's just not enabled on Windows, which would be weird. So this is OpenCFace. I'm not actually using this version of it, but it's fairly trivial to, you know, roll it back or update it, I suppose, not roll it back. Where is this being used? So I see. Oh, can you just call garbage collector collect? Is that something you can do? Ooh. You can just manually call the garbage collector? Python. GC. Garbage collector interface. How does this work? I've never... How can I explicitly free memory? Free memory? Oh, cool. That's neat. Hard to say if that actually works. Oh, there we go. There's delete frame. Oh, interesting. So after this, so this is the frame, right? Yeah. Okay. It's so your face tracker does not become like too overloaded with stuff. Slowly bring more converts to the metaverse. The metaverse? What do you mean? Which metaverse are we talking about? Facebook's metaverse? One of the crypto metaverses? VR chat metaverse? VTubering? I don't know. What I will tell you... give me one sec. Sorry, I just had to like really clear my throat. You can actually still hear it in the back of my throat. My health is taking a real dive here. Because of all the work. I am dying. Very slowly. Ugh. And the fact that I drink so much is probably not the greatest benefit to my health. Ugh. It's weird. It's like I feel like I'm actually just working regular hours, but like I just I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah. But say what you will about crypto, it is very profitable. If unethical, you know. It's hard for me to talk bad about crypto considering that I work in crypto, but it is what it is. I guess it's more on the more legit side of crypto, which is the linking to, I guess, fiat currency, as they say. I wonder if I'm able to modify this. So if I put in 32, oh geez, we can run the tracker. No, it's still at 30 frames a second. So that shouldn't make a difference. So let's stop the tracker. Run the tracker. Oh no, don't do this. I don't know. I think I need to fix this bug, but I'm also not sure if it's like my camera or not. I didn't get the other dev to raid you, be mad. That guy hates crypto. Well, I think there's a rational hatred of crypto, and then there's an irrational hatred of crypto. So I think if you dislike crypto because the majority of cryptocurrency offerings are scams, and that most, or pretty much every single cryptocurrency out there, every single blockchain out there doesn't actually do anything, then you'd be justified, right? Or I think if you hate crypto because it's like an unethical way of making money, then you would also be justified. But I think if you just hate crypto because it's like the cool thing to do, or just because it's like you know, it has no use whatsoever. If you just believe that, then I don't know, that seems unjustified. And scam for $100. It happens. It happens. You know, I've backed a few things on Kickstarter as well, so I've lost a lot of money in the real world, in meat space. I have no idea why this isn't working, by the way. I think I actually need to poke the actual tracker startup stuff, which will be a bit difficult. Actually, how difficult would that be? If I just did... Ooh, alright, let's get spicy with it. Let's get spicy. Let's stop the tracker here. And then we'll go into here. Yeah, I think cryptocurrency, or blockchain, shall we say, are things that don't really have anything that they're solving right now. I think there are things that they could solve, but the problem is that just people want control, right? That like people think that they want decentralization. Like they want everyone to, you know, be the steward of their own destiny, aka their own assets. But that's not actually what people want. People think that they want freedom in terms of pretty much anything, right? And it's like, oh, I want freedom. There we go. But I don't believe that's actually true. I think people want to be told that they have freedom and then have some sort of shadow company, you know, actually handle everything for you, right? I mean, you can almost see the same thing that is being marketed to crypto stuff right now, right? That's what an NFT is. Right, NFTs, you know, decentralized, yes, but then they've also managed to scam a bunch of people into thinking like, oh, you know, it's decentralized. Actually, NFTs are not decentralized at all. It doesn't make any sense. But they've been tricked. It's like, it's decentralized, but your NFT is only valid at a central authority. And an NFT is just a receipt anyways. Like, NFTs are a huge scam, 100%. There's no reason to have an NFT. And you know, I've been talking with some coworkers, like not even people who work in real cryptocurrency understand what, oh geez. Even people who work with real cryptocurrencies don't understand what an NFT is. So it's like, it's a metaverse thing. No, it's not a metaverse thing. NFTs and metaverse are completely different. They might be related in that they're both virtual stuff. Face tracker EXE. Yeah, crypto's biggest weakness, hoarding without circulation of currency fails. Well, not necessarily, right? So the biggest thing, or I guess the biggest difference between crypto and a real fiat currency is that you can only break down, you know, real currency. It can only go so low, if that makes sense. Whereas, if we're talking cryptocurrency, right, you can break it down as pretty much as small as you want. You do need to pay the transaction fee, but that's the cost of doing business in a lot of things. So if circulation goes down, it doesn't really make a huge difference. Whereas if you are trying to circulate, you know, US dollars, but no one spends US dollars, then there's no US dollars in circulation, right? And then actually, you know, the cost goes up. I guess it'll uninflate the US dollar. So if we move it back to meat space, right? If everyone just hoards US dollars, what happens? The relative value of the US dollar goes up. And thus, if you still need to use it to, you know, as a store of value, what happens to it? Well, if you can't get your hands on a sufficient amount of currency, or any currency at all, then it's useless. right? If you cannot get a spendable amount, but in terms of cryptocurrency, you can break it down to like 0.0001, whatever the minimum transaction fee is. And of course, the transaction fees go up or down depending on how congested the network is. So, you know, if everyone hoards currency, does not spend it in terms of crypto, transaction fees go down. Therefore, it's cheaper to send less currency. So it doesn't matter if people hoard it. Not that much anyways. All right, let's hope this does not broadcast a face cam. Let's see. Yeah, see, this one takes a frame rate of 12. Interesting. See, this one works as expected. That's weird. See, you can see this one sends frame rate 12, color space, blah. I wonder if this isn't actually sending all of the options as expected. Face tracker options. Append array, D1. What is D1? So if people spend like crazy on hoarding a lot, that disrupts the market. Well, that's markets for you, baby. That's not really a factor, right? Like the market will adjust. If there's a large influx of cash, yeah, there'll be some instability, but that's pretty much any market, right? Right, if people are hoarding a lot right now, right, and then everyone suddenly stops hoarding at some point in time, then that implies that there is some sort of event that has caused people to stop hoarding, right? Like it goes back to the question of, you know, if every one of your friends jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? And you know, clearly it's a leading question. They want you to say no, but if everyone is jumping off a bridge, there's a reason for it usually. And is it because one person, or is it because like a single group of people yelled fire and now everyone's jumping off the bridge? Maybe, but there's always some sort of disruptive motion in the market that causes a big change from the norm, right? And that goes back to cryptocurrency. So if everyone's hoarding it, as you say, which is true for them, I guess a small part of it. Device capture. Who is it? Decap? Who? Hold on. Yeah, but I hope that analogy makes sense. Ideal currency prevents that from happening. Given too much power isn't something crypto can prevent yet. Well, it's not something that an individual can prevent, but it's. Are you talking about? Well, what do you mean? Giving someone too much power isn't something crypto can prevent. How is that related to crazy spending disrupting the market? I guess. Are you talking about a 51% attack where you can, where if you control the majority of the validation power on a blockchain, you can basically, you know, filter things however you see fit? Is that what you're saying? Ha ha ha. FPS. Am I not sending the FPS? FPS. That seems, something seems weird here. So let's do face tracker options. I am inserting this properly. You own 99% of the crypto. You can buy everything in market. Stop everyone from getting anything. Well, yeah, but the same argument goes back to the real world. If you own 99% of the US dollar, guess what? Guess what? There's no difference, right? It's like, what's the argument here? Are you arguing against like currency in general, or what? You know, there's a, there's like a reasonable take and an irrational take. It's, or I guess like, unless, you know, it goes back to the same thing as like, if you are against energy drinks, are you also against coffee? Right? So like, if you think energy drinks are bad for you, are you also against coffee? You need to kind of narrow down what exactly you are against. So just being against energy drinks doesn't make a lot of sense, right? I guess you just, unless you just have something against energy drinks, right? You say, oh, energy drinks have caffeine. All right, so you hate tea? Do you hate coffee? Ooh. Where's the thing? All right, so this is frame rate 30, but I'm passing frame rate 12 into the tracker. I wonder how these are being passed, because I passed these manually to the face tracker, right? And that worked as expected. Yeah, okay, so you are just against currency in general. Well, I got bad news for you, is that there's not too much you can do about that. Not too much you can do about that. Alright, so this isn't working as expected, by the way. Right? Because there's always going to be currency. There's always going to be a store of value. It's just, who do you trust with it? And I think I would trust a big shadow government as opposed to some randos on the internet. Ideal currency prevents you from hoarding too much of it. More difficult to implement in a decentralized system. Is it? I think it's difficult to implement in any system, right? Like, how would you, like, take it, you know, real money, for example. How would you encourage someone to not hoard money, right? You need to have an incentive to spend money. It's not on the currency, really, to, I guess, encourage you to spend it right away. I suppose, like, the main thing to encourage you to spend money, right, is to rapidly increase the supply of it so that basically you inflate the currency rapidly, so that's one way. I'm not an economist, by the way, but that's the only thing that I can see right now, is that if you want to encourage people to spend money, the easiest way is to just push people into spending as much money as possible. Tax people with too much money? I guess. I guess. That doesn't really encourage you to hoard too much of it. Or against hoarding too much of it. Well, that doesn't make any difference in the big scheme of things, right? Like, it still gets hoarded somehow, right? So it's not really encouraging people to spend, it's just penalizing people from holding too much. I suppose that is preventing you from hoarding too much of it, I guess, but people still do that, so... Right? There's not really a thing that you can solve, you know, depending on what your views on the human condition are. So exe path. Windows. Exe path. Hold on, what did I get here? Windows. Yeah, so there's Face Tracker exe. I wonder, I need some way to see like what values are passed here. That's tough. Excuse me. That's tough. Right. I wonder if I have to do the same thing. Because it does look like the... Yeah, like you can see here that it's not actually passing in the correct frame rate. But it has set the device compatibility ID to -1, which is that default? Default none. So it is passing in the frame rate properly. Ooh. What did I pass in before? What did I pass in before? I didn't pass in any device compatibility mode. Who added this? Who was this? And why is this breaking my system? Alright, stop the tracker. Comment this out. And then let's start tracking here, and then we can see what values are actually slapped into here. Yeah, look at that. So that works. It's this line here that's breaking it. D -1 that breaks it. Yeah, but anyways, if we're talking about government control of financials and all that, I'm not a huge fan of that. I mean, I understand the reason for it, of course. But, you know, it kind of goes back into, you know, who knows best? Or is it, do you prefer like the free markets, or do you prefer someone to tell you how things work? And I think for the most part, I think most people, it would make more sense to prefer a central authority of people who may or may not know what they're talking about. And that's always kind of the scary thing as well. Alright, let me see. Something has happened here, by the way. Is there a way to see in Git when a certain option was added? Like, I need to know when this option was added, because I don't remember why that was added. Fix running face tracker Pi on Linux. Oh, it's this part. Oh, no. What is -D -1? I don't really know what that is. Maybe I can add that as like a debug option, which is like, if this value is present, then we can just send it, right? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But this option seems to have broken a lot of stuff, but I don't quite understand what it does. So if you look at, what is decap? Decap. List decaps. If args list decaps, list decaps. Set this to -1 to list all cameras and their available capabilities. Set this to a camera ID to list that camera's capabilities. And then you can run it with capital D, which is just the decapture, presumably, which set which device capability line to use, or -1 to use the default camera settings. Ooh. What? Huh? But it's actually C, camera ID or video file. What does decap do? Who made this? Decaps. Sure. Decap is none. Decap is args decap. If args decap is equal to -1. Ooh. I wonder if it's because of my device capability is not, like, my camera actually runs at 30 frames per second. I'd rather be in a system where I'd be motivated to buy stuff with my money or quickly, or risk seeing it disappear. The more money I have, the faster I need to spend it. Well, that doesn't make a huge amount of sense because, right, the points of money is to be a store of value. So you don't need to do work immediately whenever you want to get something else. Does that make sense? Right? So if you didn't have money, then you would either need to barter, which is trade items that you already have for something that you want, or you would need to provide value at time of purchase somehow. Whereas money means that you basically store your work for later and say, this currency that I'm giving you is worth, you know, some amount of work that I could have done or I could be doing for you right now, but I've, you know, giving it to you in paper form or coin form or whatever, right? So the fact that you would want it to be, I guess, risk seeing it disappear kind of is antithetical to currency in general, right? Like you want your work to be stored to be used later, right? I guess like if you like what if we just move to like a tulip system, right? Not to make a reference to the Dutch system of doing things. Hold on, let me check something really quick. Face tracker exe. Gotta make sure I don't hit my accidentally face cam this. That would be a travesty. Although you can just look up what I look like. Anyways. But yeah, so like what you're suggesting is almost like a tulip system. So you have a bunch of flowers. So given a system where the currency is, you know, tulips, right? And people only accept tulips as currency for you to pay for various sorts of items. Would that be a good currency? You would say no, because the tulips will go bad, etc. Right? But that's pretty much exactly where you're describing, right? Is that you want a currency that goes bad eventually. Maybe like, you know, the currency doesn't lose all of its value, but... Alright, gonna... No more face cam for a little bit. Ah! What does this mean? I guess we'll hit it with an L. Ooh! Is this a new option? Expected 1 argument? Oh, -1. Oh, jeez. 5 to 30. Yeah. Eh? Set which decap to use. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I've been doing this wrong. Maybe I've been doing this wrong. Oh, because the default is probably set to just 30 FPS and 640 by 480. So by setting this to -1, I'm using the default we're intentionally using the default, I guess. Interesting. So maybe I don't want to use decap then? That's a bit tough. That's where people get it wrong. Money doesn't have value. What money buys has value. Well, that's not necessarily true, right? It has some money to start with, and money doesn't, Everyone has some money to start with. Not true. If money doesn't reach everyone in time, it dies. Then only a certain amount can be recycled per person, with penalty getting higher with more money getting recycled by one person. What? Are you describing a system that you would like to have? I'm not sure what you are advocating for. What I'm describing, that's a system that you would like to have, sure. But people like to have a store of value, right? You bank value. You not necessarily bank in the traditional banking sense, but you have value that you can use later when you need it, right? So in times when you are unable to work to gain more money, then you still have things that you can rely on for a given amount of time, right? If you have a system where your money decays, going back to the tulip example, then you would always need to work. And then once you run out of working capacity, then you need to rely on the charity of others to, you know, allow you to survive. Why would, you know, that's the problem. And then the problem is that you cannot rely on the charity of others in a lot of circumstances, at least in the US. Maybe, of course, it's a very US-centric view of currency as well, I should say. Did you maybe make this configurable? Question mark. Yeah, but money, I think inevitably money will always have value. There's what money buys has value. Yes, because you're exchanging. Yeah, to kind of pick apart your argument. So money always intrinsically has value. It's a barter system. It's a barter system all the way down. But it just changes the transfer medium of bartering. So you use money as a proxy for things that you actually want to barter for, right? So, you know, if you want to buy a car, you do not have to, you know, bring with you to the dealership, you know, a ton of gold, 1 ton of gold, right? Instead, you exchange 1 ton of gold for some money, then you bring the money to the dealership to buy a car, right? And thus, in that way, money has value because you exchange it for value. So you buy other stuff with it, then you sell it, then the system also works. That universal basic income has a minimum amount that replenishes. Well, that's a different argument altogether. That's a different thing altogether. You know, we're talking about money, and we're also talking about universal basic income, which is something I will not talk about since I don't really have an opinion on that. Let's add a story for myself. It's a story. It's not a story. It's an issue. Make, what is it? What is this option? Decap configurable from the UI. Yeah. But I think the problem with your argument is that money always has value. You are exchanging money for other things, and those things have value, and thus, whatever you tag, whatever you exchange money for, that's what the money's value is. Or whatever you exchange for money, that's what the money's value is. So therein lies the value of money. Of course, it is fiat currency, so it's not backed by anything intrinsically. Let's see. On Windows, so need to keep an equilibrium system like the one I described sustainable. I don't think it's ever going to be sustainable. I think if you're talking about universal basic income, then yes. I think that's the only way the system you're describing would be sustainable. But it would also mean that there would almost be no way for someone to accrue wealth, which depending on your views, might be a good thing. I happen to think it's not a good thing, but right, because once you take away the incentive to work, right, people don't work out of the goodness of their hearts, right? Well, and that might be like a worldview kind of thing. On Windows, always setting decap big D to -1 just uses the default camera settings and ignores the FPS/width/height params. Yeah, but the problem with that and making sure that no one ever, I guess, hoards money is that then there's very little incentive to work harder. Accrue width can still happen with goods. A minimum amount doesn't necessarily mean cover all needs. Yeah, well, I think that requires a lot of control in order to do well. So like, what is the minimum amounts? What would be a token? What would be an amount not great enough to kill productivity, but at the same time, also, I guess, ensure that people have to spend? I think at some point, wouldn't it just be easier to just distribute goods? This is very rapidly turning into a very communist style system, right? Where the distribution of goods is centrally planned, etc. I guess you still have the ability for someone to excel and to accrue wealth via physical means, but like, I don't know. It seems like a very, almost like a very primitive worldview where your capital is tied up in physical objects that may or may not have value. Or I guess it's not a very primitive, it's a very physical worldview where you only have value based on the physical things that you own. So it's almost a very consumerist worldview, almost. So you derive value from owning things, not by being productive, not by owning assets, but by just things that you own. Problem that can be solved via correct cryptocurrency? I don't think so. That seems like it would need a lot of governance to make happen. Seems like that would need a lot of governance. That would need a huge amount of governance, right? Because a lot of what, right, the big thing about crypto is that a lot of the things work off of store of value. So you can store value and then use it later. I don't really understand, I guess, how you would make that system work with cryptocurrency, because you always need to pay a fee to use the blockchain. If you don't pay your work fee, then you open yourself up to bad actors, right? You always need to have the store of value in order to access the blockchain. Otherwise, you'll get DDoSed, right? If you just provide currency to everybody free of charge, then the system will be inundated by bad actors. Or it doesn't even need to be like many bad actors. It can just be one bad actor who can take down the entire chain, which is why you need to attach a cost to writing data to the blockchain. Reading data is free. You can look at it all you want. That's the point. But if you want to actually add something to it, you need to exchange something of value in return, right? So Of course, that's where, you know, proof of work, proof of stake comes in, where you get paid for your efforts in validating transactions. So I'm not sure that, well, I am 100% sure that your suggestion will not work with a blockchain, at least with the current implementations. I'm not sure how any implementation would actually work. Right. Because a blockchain is inherently like self-sustaining, more or less. I guess if you had some other entity sustain the blockchain, then it's no longer decentralized. But then that's how you would deter bad actors. You either need, like, that the current way it works is decentralized. Fix. Shut up, child abduction. Okay. Amber alert. Fix camera settings, Windows. Yeah. Git push origin, fix camera settings, Windows. Yeah, that's. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk on cryptocurrency. Let's add a pull request, new pull request. Fix camera settings. Hey. Oh, I didn't commit it. Git commit. Temporary fix for camera settings on Windows. I feel like I should actually add that to my my Windows keychain. All right, so this is what we're doing. Just add a to-do and then also take out this thing here so that we'll be able to actually set the FPS properly. I don't know if this has ever worked, but maybe it has, I don't know. We'll wait for the check to finish and then we'll see where we're at anyways. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Good Goot tests have passed. Everyone loves a good test. All right, let's send it. Merge it. Boom. Delete branch. Beautiful. Yeah, I don't believe cryptocurrency will ever be like an actual currency. Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense in its current iteration anyways. Although it is very profitable to work with. Because it's more or less like very loosely regulated, right? Very loosely regulated. Trading fees are pretty low on most platforms as well. Not as low as, like, you know, something like a Robinhood, even though Robinhood is just a front for more established trading firms. Git branch. Hit it with a delete, fix auto shutdown, fix this thing, raw I input. There we go. And then also git branch. Let's hit it with a delete. Use complicated blend shapes. So we still have live 2D-esque models, which is something I'm kind of working on in the background, but there is also something called, what was it called? Dragon bones. All right, look at that. So that might be fun to start to implement. I'm not sure how Dragon Bones works, but this is what it's supposed to look like, is that it's like a spline, almost like a live 2D style kind of thing. So, and it has a skeleton, so it has pretty much everything I need, maybe. I'm not super familiar with how this works. Cause I don't know. How does just regular Dragon Bones work? See official docs for no, I don't want this thing. I don't know. Dragon Bones. Send me. Dragon Bones. Dragon Bones. It's not, that's egret. Not secure. Gotta love it when someone sends their website over HTTP. Who needs certificates? Certificates are for nerds. Not super well maintained for sure. I do like how they still have an action script thing. Dragon Bones GitHub IO. Hey, where is this? Can I just go to this? Paste. Ooh. Give me this. Does this have a thing, or is this just self-hosted? Ooh. Oh, this looks way better than, oh, never mind. That's like the same thing. I wonder if Dragon Bones IO is the most up-to-date thing. We'll go to learn. Documentation. Oh, and then there's nothing. Doesn't look like it's very well maintained. Oh, hello, Knock. Hello, hello. How are you? Unfortunately, I've had the drop the entire game jam stuff. Been very busy. Unfortunately. You know, end of the year code freeze and all that. Was very tempted to cancel today's stream as well. But yeah, what I'm working on was we're going back to basics. Whatever the heck this thing is. Look at that. Just fixed a bug, which is a bug of my own making. I just didn't realize it was a bug at the time, but setting this option to -1 uses the camera defaults, and then these are the. I'm assuming when I set it to -1, it just uses option 0, which is 640 by 480 resolution, and then just sets the FPS to 30 by default. So if I turn it off, I think this should just work. Maybe using whatever camera I've specified, and then also using the frame rate. Whereas before it was just defaulting to 30 frames. I think I need to make it configurable, but it's tough. And there's a few other things I need to do as well. I think probably pretty high on the list is interpolation, or proper interpolation for all kinds of models like this one. So I think there's interpolation that's missing from there's interpolation that's missing from several parts of this thing. Like I think like interpolation, it's not that it's missing, but I need proper interpolation for, I guess, everything that moves, which is kind of hard. So there's like, right now, the same interpolation rate is applied to the mouth, blinking, eye rotation. But a better system would be to have different interpolation rates for butt tail. There's a butt tail. It'd be to have different interpolation rates for whatchamacallit. Yeah. So there's a model interpolation rates, there's a blinking interpolation rates, a eye tracking interpolation rate, and a mouth interpolation rate. And then maybe also a like expression interpolation rate. I'm not sure how you would do that. Maybe not. Maybe those 4 things are the only things that need interpolation. So let's open up Notepad, my favorites. Manga Dex. We'll get to that. Alright, so in progress. So we've already done the Linux compatibility stuff yet. Or we have just interpolate the interpolations. Well, we need to specifically interpolate stuff instead of just using the same interpolation rate for everything. And now that I'm thinking about it, that's not too hard to do. Could be really easy, actually. But that's one of the things. Add specific interpolations for blinking, mouth, bones, gaze. And that's, I think that's everything. Oh, I don't like how it doesn't follow my eyebrows. But that's not too hard to do, I think. And then we'll need to do, I guess if you interpolate the interpolations, wouldn't that be like, that's like acceleration for the interpolation as well? Isn't that how that would work? That'd be pretty wild. That'd be pretty wild. Don't question it? Alright. As you command, sire. Just do it. Sponsored by Nike. Or possibly by Shia LaBeouf. Don't let your inters be polations. As a stranger on the internet, I'm a stakeholder here. Clearly. Well, a stranger on the internet who has given me a few bucks over the past year. So if you do give me money, I will take your suggestions a little bit more seriously. What else do we need to do? I think there's a... This is true, I have funded this project. Indirectly, yes. So I think that makes you a weeb degenerate. A degenerate weeb. And also a weeb degenerate. Isn't that weird? That like that actually has two connotations, mixing the order up? Because weeb and degenerates, both of those words are nouns and adjectives. So you can be a weeb degenerate, which means that you're a degenerate who is really into anime, or you can be a degenerate weeb, a weeb who is has questionable morals. Just never in question be fair. Also synonyms, are they synonyms? I suppose. I suppose if you are inclined to degeneracy, you are also usually a weeb. Yeah, but something I need to change as well. Also, I'm just curious. Please don't judge. Is there a butt tail? There is a butt tail. Does it move? No, it doesn't waggle. Okay. I was looking at this and I was like, does that move? I wonder if this model is free to use, by the way. I feel like I just get more people to just randomly click on the stream if I just catfish them. It's a cute girl. Oh wait, you know about terms. Who needs TOS? I can't read. This has already been established. I don't know how to read. Add auto, or I guess text scrolling to bone names. Let's do bone names first. Pivot back to Rust. We could pivot back to Rust. Are you doing the AOC? Alexandria something Cortez. Need you a little out of my league. Advent code. I had a feeling I had something to do with programming. Such a degenerate, yeah, being into politics, yeah, what a degenerate. All politicians are weebs, as previously established. What is Advent code though? I've seen it around. Advent of code. All right, Google Chrome is listening to my thing. I don't know. What is this? How do I do this? Man, they're really into the American. Is she a senator? She's not my representative, so I don't know what she is. I mean, what do I need to do here? Please identify yourself via one of these services. This might be fun. I don't know. What is this? You're minding your own business on a ship at sea when the overboard alarm goes off. You rush to see if you can help. Apparently, one of the elves tripped and accidentally sent the sleigh keys flying into the ocean. Before you know it, you're inside a submarine the elves keep ready for situations like this. It's covered in Christmas lights, because of course it is. And it even has an experimental antenna that should be able to track the keys if you can boost its signal strength high enough. There's a little meter that indicates the antenna's signal strength by displaying a 0 to 50 stars. Wouldn't having a daily limit time delay prevent DDoS in a blockchain? Not really. I think that's more... I don't know. It's hard to say. I think there is already a limit, but... I suppose what would stop you from just creating a bunch of wallets? Right? Because then, or I guess, are you saying that you would only process X amount of transactions? Because then if you add a limit to adding things to a blockchain, right, then you start to accrue a backlog of just garbage that doesn't do anything, right? So there's not really a good solution around that besides just having something with monetary value attached, right? The biggest deterrent to DDoS is money. If it costs money, people are less likely to do it. If you do it for free, even if it's like time gated, people will still do it. Just look at gacha games. If you see AOC and I really think of the politician, I think that says more about you. I mean, she's just, in the US at the very least, it's a big talking point. All 50 stars by December 25th. Collect stars by solving puzzles. 2 puzzles will be made available on each day in the advent calendar. Second puzzle is unlocked when you complete the first. Each puzzle grants 1 star. Good luck. As the submarine drops below the surface of the ocean, it automatically performs a sonar sweep of the nearby seafloor. On a small screen, the sonar sweep report, your puzzle input, appears. Each line is a measurement of the seafloor depth as the sweep looks further and further away from the submarine. You have the following reports. Some numbers. Account tag to person, 1 account per person. Well, then how would you determine who each person is? What if you, right? And then this starts going down into like a KYC kind of thing. It's like, what if I have multiple identities? What if I steal a bunch of people's identities? How do you keep track of which identities are valid, right? And then that also takes away the anonymity of internet transactions, which is a big draw of a lot of this stuff, right? Like I don't mind being a public figure, if only because this is more of a record of my programming prowess. But fingerprint, iris scan, face scan, well, I think you're starting to run into a lot of problems there. Lots of government oversight that I think a lot of people do not like. All right, what might do? Let's do AOC. That's me. Call me UN. Sponsor join code. Save. Provide. Don't post this code in a... Okay, well, sure. Yeah, fingerprint, iris scan, face scan. I think that's extremely unreasonable, I suppose. If you can make it work, then you have created 1984, I suppose. Isn't that how 1984 works? They do like it's not an iris scan, but it's like a facial recognition thing to tell who's in the room and who's talking. And they also do a vocal scan as well. Yeah, you know what? Let's pivot. Let's pivot. Let's see if we can do an advent code really quick. Doing a quick advent of code challenge. Get pivoted, son. It's not really a Godot engine, so let's just do this. This is just programming. Is there a software development? There we go. Maybe I should always be screaming under software development. Level 3, you don't know the person's name or whereabouts by protecting their privacy. Okay. Well, You're not really, are you? It's like you're... Because in order to get a fingerprint scan, an iris scan, and a face scan, right, you know your face. If you know someone's face, you can always just find them normally. In fact, it's probably even more invasive than just having someone's name. Because then you've also stepped away from having a decentralized system, because then you would need somebody to actually verify each person's, identity to make sure it's unique. How would you do it so that each person is, well, and then, etc. Once you start doing identity verification, it's no longer private. That's pretty much how it goes. So let's do advent of code. Side projects. Yeah, to begin. Ooh, what's my puzzle? Oh, okay. So this is how that works. Okay, cool. The first order of business is to figure out how quickly the depth increases, just so you know what you're dealing with. You never know if the keys will get carried into deeper water by an ocean current or a fish or something. To do this, count the number of times a depth measurement increases from the previous measurement. There is no measurement before the first measurement. In the example above, the changes are as follows. Count the number of times the depth measurements increases from the previous measurements. In this example, there are 7 measurements that are longer than the previous measurements. How many measurements are longer than the previous measurement? Do this question in BF? No. Do you have a suggestion? I'll do it in Replit though. Whatever is on Replit, I'll do it. I'm not doing it in Nix. But anything that's in Replit, I'll do it. I guess we can do it in Brain. We can do it in Brain F, actually. We can do it in Brain. All right, let's do it in Brain F. AOC day 1. All right, let's do it. Oh baby, you stand no chance. Yeah, that's probably like very, very likely. How does this work? Yabby. Is it bad that I read it as yabai? Yabai. Oh geez. Okay. Well, I think the first part 100% is to look up yabai. If you wouldn't that be the ultimate troll to suggest that I do like something that's horrible for watchability and then just immediately leave? Brain F syntax. All right, sure. What is +2? Increment the byte at the data pointer. So I'm assuming that we start at 1, then we move over by 1, move over by 1, move over twice, increments, go back. If the bytes at the data pointer, that's what this one is. If the bytes at the data pointer is 0, then instead of moving the instruction pointer to the next command, jump it forward to the command after the matching. After this one. If the bytes at the data pointer is non-zero, then instead of moving the instruction pointer forward to the next command, jump it back to the command after the matching. Oh geez. Oh geez. Oh, okay. Well, how would I read input? That's like the hardest part, is how do I read input? That's all I want. Please, just I would like input first. How do you read input from Brain F? Brain F. Brain F. Read input. How is input handled? Sure. Yes. Ooh. I don't know if this is possible. I don't know if this is possible with my current level of programming expertise. I know inputs are taken as ASCII, but they're required to be single characters. The comma command. The comma command accepts 1 byte every single time it runs. Oh, jeez. Okay. So let's actually take this seriously, and then assuming that I can do this, just hit it with a Control A, and then we can just add a new file, I suppose. So this is input.txt. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's only a really quick 2,000 lines, easy. I'm pretty sure what I can do is, yeah, let's write something really quickly. So this is, we'll call it test. We'll call it input.bf. BF. Right. This is main.bf. This is input.bf. So if we are reading in values, how would you do this in BrainF? So, I guess looking at this Stack Overflow answer, command input, take a line at a time. Single comma will get 1 byte's worth of input, 1 character. If you want to handle getting a string until a new line is met, you can try implementing something like the following code: 10 being the ASCII value of a new line, and the number of repetitions of plus and minus characters. An array of non-zero values starting and ending with 0 values is saved into memory containing the ASCII values. Ooh. Ooh. So I'm assuming I can't just read in standard input. But this code snippet seems to make sense to me at the very least. Right, so this one, what it does is it decrements the current thing. So I'm assuming that this block, the opening block, this will zero out, or this will find the next open memory address. Then we move to the next one. Yeah, let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. Really just break my brain. And then, move over 1. I need to keep the thing open on the other thing. Pointer increments. Yeah. So we decrement the current memory address. Move over. Wait. Why are we decrementing the current memory address? Sorry, I have to abandon you at this dire moment. See you later. All right. Immediately pivot to doing this in Python. Goodbye, Knock. Thanks for nothing. We're doing this in Python. AOC Deo 1 Python. But goodbye. We'll also switch this back to the duck. And then I think once I'm done with all of this, I can probably call this stream because I need to work after this. But this is input.text. Slap all of this into here. So imports. Actually, we can just import requests, right? And we can just do this in a single line. So we'll do, I believe this is just a bunch of fields, so we didn't even need input.texts. We can do input numbers is equal to requests code completion. Please get URL, whatever the heck this is. Params, not super necessary. And then let's print out input numbers really quick. Input numbers. Run that. 400. Not authenticated. All right, well, that's good to know. I guess I need to be authenticated to get this this part of the code. So instead, we'll just hit it with a. How do you read a file? OS. Imports OS, and then it's like OS. Ooh, where's it? File. Python read file. Or I guess it's just open. Or I guess this would be a list, lowercase list, and then with open. Just hard code that as input.text. Well, I don't know. I don't really care about this. If no one's watching, then I'll go back. Let's undo. We'll do a cheeky pivot. He's going back. Alright, let's make this at least for the Linux stuff. Have something pop up on screen. That would probably be the easiest thing to do. So where would I have a pop-up? On the main screen, there's just the GUI handler. So we can always just slap something into there. But then I guess we'll just have like a different pop-up thing. So from OpenCFace GD, whatever the heck that was, does this have a handle onto main? I don't. Main screen does. Does OpenCF GD? I believe that this is just a. Oh, it has access to App Manager main at the very least. But I suppose it doesn't even need that. I can just add it directly to the tree, and that should be all right, probably. Yeah. So let's do something like yeah, it's like an ephemeral pop-up almost. So canvas layer. Ephemeral pop-up. So it'll pop up really quickly and then, well, actually, no. Well, yes. I don't know, actually. The easiest way for this to work would be to do, please, send me here. So it's pop-up dialog or window dialog. I guess it's like a window dialog, huh? Yeah. Or yeah, accept dialog. So accept dialog, and then we'll just want this to pop up immediately. So give this a save as screens. This is just a GUI, and this is a, call it a just ephemeral pop-up, and then place this just in the GUI. Yeah, there we go. ephemeral pop-up, add a script to it. And then on ready, we'll just want it to pop up the accept dialog just like that. On ready var. I guess this is just pop up, huh? Pop up accept dialog is equal to accept dialog. Pop up, and then it's like pop up ratio. Well, we'll call it probably like 0.7. 0.7 is usually pretty good. That's pretty much it. I think there's going to be some text that we need to send to it as well. This is going to be somewhat difficult to test since this will only happen. Well, I don't know. There's a few places where I can use this. So like when I'm toggling FXAA, whatever FX anti-aliasing stands for, we can use it for that. That'll be nice. So we can do, or what does accept dialog have? So there's dialog text. Oh, and then we just have all the other things on it. Okay. It can only be accepted or closed with the same result. Yeah, okay. So from this, we can do confirmed, and then also there's just the base pop-up. So, hold on. Is it window dialog? Hold on. Accept dialog goes the window dialog. So it's confirmed, and then also, is there like an on hide? Ooh, modal closed? Probably not. Okay, so there's confirmed, and then also window dialog, which is pop-up. So there's confirmed and then pop-up hide that we want to connect to both of those. So this is ephemeral pop-up GD. We want to do pop-up dot connect, whatever this is, confirmed self on close, right? So we'll want to do both of these. So this is pop-up hide. Whenever it's hidden, or I guess it's also closed, whichever one it is, it doesn't matter. We'll also want to destroy the ephemeral pop-up node as well, because that's just easy. On close. So we'll just queue free. Oh no, we'll just queue free. There we go. So we'll close. Whenever the pop-up is closed, we'll just destroy everything. How nice. So there's our pop-up, and then we'll have var pop-up text, some sort of string. Suppose it wouldn't be too hard just to construct this manually, but it is nice to have something to... We can just load it in and then slap it in anywhere, right? So we'll pop-up centered, but we'll also want to do pop-up text. What is it? Dialog text. Dialog text is equal to pop-up text. There we go. So one place where I can definitely use this right away is grab this. We'll go to where is it? Application. So go to resources, GUI, app settings probably. So setup console, don't want that. I think on the setup or the FXAA stuff, we'll want to do something a bit different for that. So if we go to app settings.xml. All right, I need to look at how the other things work. So there's setup and then there's setup. Okay, so there's setup. So app settings. So this one will have a custom event or a custom setup function. So this is fxaa, right? Func fxaa doesn't take any inputs, I think. Or no, it takes one input, which is the control. But that is inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, right? Tracking GD, yeah, it just takes some sort of control, but we don't care what it is. Or actually, we do care what it is, right? So some sort of element. We can label it as a control, and then on that control, we can just assume that it will be something that's toggleable. How do I handle it in tracking, actually? So tracking.gd. Who? Let me see. Elements. All right, so I just need to know. Okay, well, I'm sure there's a better way of doing that, but I would need a few more inputs on the best way to do that. So there's just the toggle, I guess. So there's the element toggle, elements toggle, and then we can do connect toggle, connect toggled, self on toggled. So it's being connected in a few places, right? We're on fxaa toggled, on fxaa toggled, on fxaa toggled. So there's a toggle value, button state. I suppose, and then here, this is the important part, which is if button state is true. I think I'm starting to come back around to just explicitly checking. Shut up! Ugh, you're freaking me out. It's the same Amber Alert as well. Why are you like this? And why do I have so many emails? Who's sending emails so late at night? Ooh, what the heck? Get out of here. Flash flood? No, it's an Amber Alert. Yeah, so I think it said a 4-year-old has been abducted in a blue Toyota RAV4. Unfortunately, I am not outside right now, and I'm too far away from the street to be able to see it. And even if it was, I don't think I could be. I don't think it would be very accurate of me to call the cops on every single RAV4 that I see from way up high in my downtown apartment building. Yeah, if button state is true, then we'll want to grab ephemeral pop-up. So we'll hit it with a var pop-up is equal to load one of these. Or I wonder if it would be nice to be able to, I guess, have this preloaded somewhere. Or I guess maybe not even preloaded, but have all of these settings things inherit from the same thing. It doesn't matter. Pop up, load, and then we'll do get tree. I'll just hit it with a raw add child, right? Pop up. And then I guess we'll also need the pop up text. Yeah. Actually, a little hard to say. Would you want? I think I'll just have this pop up every single time for now. It's a bit annoying. Well, we can have this, so it'll pop up the first time you toggle it on every single application starts, but then afterwards it doesn't really matter. So there's your max logs, there's your console. You know what? Let's get weird with it. var has shown fxaa pop up. So this is false. So button state is true and not has shown fxaa pop up. Actually, we can do this first. One of these. Then we can also, well, I mean, that's it, right? This is we're kind of doing this C style, which is like fxaa. This is the console stuff. So everything is just kind of defined where it needs to be used. In terms of like pure scripts like this, so app settings GD is not compiled during export. It's just loaded at runtime, which is hilarious. I think this makes more sense because this is more just using it as a real script. So let me see. Pop up text is equal to enabling fxaa will cause transparent backgrounds to malfunction on Godot 3.4. If you have transparent backgrounds enabled. All right, so let's try that and just see if it works. So we give it a run. Go into app settings, use fxaa. Whoop. Non-existent function add child. Oh, okay, right. So this needs to be get true. Is it just tree? Or no, it's a root. Root add child. Yeah. That was the wrong button. I've switched up my keyboard layout, so I'm just hitting all kinds of buttons by accident. Hold on. Let me check something really quick. QMK configurator. Let's upload my current key map that I just kind of have sitting around. What is layer 3? So that's these 5. Okay, so I didn't hit anything when I hit F5. Cool. But yeah, this is the current keyboard layout that I use. It's a bit strange, but I like it a lot. So I have a function key right next to the Windows key that I use for WASD and also for just a numpad if I want it. Then the key right next to the double spacebar layout I have also gives me a numpad and access to all the function keys as well. And then the key to the right of the 2 spacebar buttons gives me access to backlight values, mouse wheel up and down, and then also the home to end buttons. And then hitting both keys to the sides of the spacebar buttons will give me like super special buttons. But how nice. So we go to app settings, right? Use fxaa. Enabling fxaa will cause transparent backgrounds to malfunction if you have transparent if you have transparent backgrounds enabled. Okay, cool. And then that should not, okay, so let me see. Oh, I never set it to, I never set it properly. Okay, so we can do has shown fxa pop-up is equal to true. So then we can try that again, not this one. Go here, app settings, show it once. And then that destroyed itself properly. Nice. Cool. Resource file not found res. What? Where? Why are you like this? Ooh? What happened? Looks fine. And then we can toggle it on and off again. No errors? No errors? Oh, okay, so when we close, we're doing a thing, I think. If not, environment is test, then we should do save config. Or cm save config. That seems a little suspect. Resource file not found, res. I wonder where this is coming from, because it tries to call it twice, but that's not right. That does seem a bit concerning, though. Where is this happening? Oh, it's the two write file things. Okay, so we go to write file. Hold on. Let's open up config manager. So there's write file, and this is one of the things from a new contributor. So not saying it's their fault, but I'm not saying that it's not their fault. So this is save config. So it looks like the config path might have been clobbered somehow. So config path, and it's sending my config path to just garbage for some reason. Like my metadata path is also being set to garbage. What is my metadata path? Metadata path. Ooh. Ooh. Because I can see here that resource file not found, res whatever, but it's also not saving any config. So we can add something here. Just add a really quick print debug config path. That's a little concerning. This didn't used to work like that, but we can close it. Resource file not found, res dot. So if I comment this out, what happens? Do these go away? No, it's not this one. It's something else then. There's another write file thing that's breaking, but I don't know where. Or where am I reading? Where am I reading stuff from? Where do I read in the config? It's not set up. Or at least at the very least, it's not these things. So where else could it be? I'm just trying to narrow it down. Like, I don't think it's these right here. Like, it must be something to do... Actually, yeah. Since it has something to do with closing down the app manager, I think. Right? So on tree exiting, we set a breakpoint here and then see if we get those errors. No errors. Step down. Still no errors. Step over. No errors. Logger info. Exiting. What happened? What? Did I make any changes? I didn't make any changes. Am I crazy? What did I do? Ooh. What happened? I'm not crazy. I used to get these errors, now not any longer. That's very strange. Alright. Weird. Oh yeah, that's the FXAA pop-up. How nice. We can also attach just the basic theme to it. So that's really easy to do. And so I think that should be okay. So we'll go to app settings, pop it up. Nothing will display because there's nothing really attached to it. Close it. No errors still. I don't know what's going on with that. Let's see, styles, main theme. You see, we can reuse a lot of the pop-up stuff. So this is accept. There's pop-up. What is it called? Is it not called accept dialog? Or is it just pop-up? Pop-up dialog. Pop-up dialog. Sure, pop-up dialog. We'll mess with the panel. We'll quick load in the main style box so that this will look okay, I guess. Maybe not. What kind of thing is this then? So this is an accept dialog, which has a label. It has a texture button. Ooh. Is an accept dialog just different from other pieces of dialogue? Is that how that works? Ooh. So like, oh, is the OK button different? Is that what happened? Yeah, okay, the OK button is different. How nice. It's completely worthless. Hide on OK. I think we'll want to auto wrap it as well. Resizable, no. Notice. I don't know. What does this inherit from? So this inherits from window dialog. So we'll go to main theme. I've already changed pop-up dialog. Is there a window dialog? There is a window dialog. Okay. So we'll do the same. So main style box. That's fine. Title fonts. That's fine. All the closed stuff. Also okay. I think this will actually kind of break it because it's not quite the same stuff. Yeah, that looks horrible. Yeah, I think this needs to be its own thing. Yeah, because you can't see anything. Okay, so main theme. Let's see. I think this just needs to be a new one, right? So we'll go into manage items. Pop-up dialog. I think we can just remove everything. Remove all items for pop-up dialog. And then here, we'll just create a new style box, I guess. And we'll kind of figure it out from here, right? So looking at this, that looks pretty bad, but luckily I've done this before. So this is like, set it to, it's like set this to 10, or is it 20? Then corner, is it expand margin? Yeah, there we go. I think 23, and then 23 looks, 23 is a bit too much. 22, bit too much. 21. That looks almost good. That looks better, I think. Yeah, so that's the notice. Content margin, we'll hit it with a 10, 10, 10, 10. As per the usual. There's the border. Anti-aliasing, no. We can have a corner radius. I think rounded corners always look nice. That might just be me though. And yeah, there we go. Oh, these need to be images, so like close and close highlight, don't need that. Title height, that's fine. Text, title color? I guess there's the title font and then the title color, but we don't really need any of that. I think the only thing that this needs is to be slightly darker. 69, nice. Give that a save, and then we should just have pop-ups be available. Yeah, look at that. Enabling FXAA will cause transparent backgrounds that malfunction if you have transparent backgrounds enabled. So like click literally anywhere and then it just goes away. Yeah, cool, 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 cool. I wish there was a way to center that dialogue as well. But I don't see any formatting stuff. So these are constants. So window dialogue, that's the panel. Yeah. So there's the text. Window title, pop-up. Yeah, not too much I have access to. I suppose what I could do is just have this be a window dialogue, and then I can mess with the text layout inside of that. So inside of, inside of accept dialogue, what do I have access to? Yeah, okay, I have access to the label. So if I just hit it with one of these, ephemeral pop-up, we have access to the label. So we'll do get label, pop-up, get label. What are the things that we have? It's like v align is equal to, what are the v align values that we have for labels? Label. So there's v align and then h align, I guess, or just regular align. So it's a v align. So this is v align center. Label v align center, and then also pop up. Get label var label is equal to this. All right. So label align is equal to label align center. Just align everything center. I like having center alignment on a lot of stuff. Nice. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So we'll want to have something else happen for, or have the same thing happen for, I guess the Linux check as well. But let's go ahead and push this as a very small kind of micro change. So get diff, that's fine. So get check out branch, add or git checkout branch feature ephemeral pop-up and fxaa. Git add all, git commit add ephemeral pop-ups for fxaa. Gotta love making pull requests to your own branch. But it's just nice to have the ability to check things afterwards. And that looks fine. Create a pull request and I'll just submit my own pull request, send it, confirm the merge. Oh baby. Delete it. All right. All right, so now something that we want to do is modify the bash script. And this is a horrible idea to do, so that's why I'm not going to merge this one immediately, because I need to actually test it on a Linux system beforehand, which is that's the tough part. But here's what we're doing, right? So we have scripts, just random scripts that we only run if we are running in on Linux. Literal carriage return. No. I will not do any of this shell check stuff. I'm above this. It would help. But we're running on Windows, so we have to live with it for now. So this all works. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is we'll add a new script, which is check for vnv.sh. I do like, I guess, making it obvious that we are explicitly making this a shell script. I guess it's not explicitly a bash script, which might be a bad thing. Let me see. How do you check to see if a directory exists in bash? Actually, we might not even need that, huh? Actually, now I'm thinking about it, we don't need this, right? I can just use Godot's built-in stuff to check to see if a directory exists, and then we can just take out... okay, well, we'll still need the ability to... Oh man, that's tough. Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. Yeah, we'll still need the ability to run this part. So we'll have a little bit of duplication for sure. We'll have a little bit of duplication for sure, but it'll only be like a first time check. So this one will be create vnv.sh. Slap all of this into there, call it a day. Feels good. And then in OpenCGD, down here, I think there's a few things we can get rid of also, since we're already doing some cleanup. Get rid of all of these. This is definitely Unity specific. Some of these are still actually valid questions. I just have not gotten around to actually answering. I think there's also a few other things I need to do, which is... I don't know. There were some things. I had a list, a separate list somewhere of things I needed to do. Oh, right. Before I forget, we need to add... Oh no. I need to add like date time to log messages. Messages. There we go. Because currently, sometimes, don't know when, but sometimes Godot will just crash and it'll take down every single Godot related application as well. So that's Not a good thing. Let me be the first one to tell you that. Not a good thing for sure. Alright, well. Let's think. You know what? I'm thinking for the VNV, I'll place it just in your... Currently it's being placed in your user directory, but I wonder if it makes more sense to just place it inside of like the OpenSea Face folder instead. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I'll keep it as on the user path, and we'll user data path. It'll be the same. But here we'll hit it with a var outputs some sort of array, initialize it like that, and then we'll hit the U with the os execute. I guess this will need to be like a check. Hold on. What's the ordering here? So this is the, or these need to be up here. So we'll go up here, boom. One of these, right? So then OS execute something. Let me see, what are we executing? We are executing, so check VNV path, or create VNV path. Or I guess we can check, well, you know, okay, hold on. All right. First of all, create a new directory object that we can use to check for directories, obviously. So what did I call it? So var directory new, then we'll hit it with if directory, is it folder exists? Dir exists. So it'll be user data path. I always kind of forget, how do you concatenate in Godot? Oh yeah, string formatting. String formatting, usually the safest way of doing it. Yeah, now he's thinking. User data path, and then there is the, just a VNV like that. So if not, then what do we want to do? We want to do all of this stuff. Right, so var output, we want to capture the output, and then while this is executing, we'll also want to create a pop-up. Reload, sure, yeah, looks good. Default that to hidden, and then, let me see, where is it? Ephemeral pop-up. Where are you? Grab this. No need to preload it since it'll only happen once. So we'll do get tree, root, add child. We'll load, well, let's do this in 2 steps, right? Var pop-up equals load this thing, and then we'll instance it. Pop-up dot pop-up text is equal to creating VNV. I wonder if this should, if we should yield. I wonder if we should yield until this is possible to be done. That might be a better way of doing it, but we'll figure it out later. So the VNV does not exist. We will show a pop-up, and then we'll just kind of block until the VNV is created for the first time. So then we'll call os executes. We'll need the script path. How do I get the script path? So it's one of these. So var, or this one, var, creates VNV script. So this is some sort of string. And then we'll just copy this. One of these. Oh, geez. What happened? Did I do that wrong? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I did it wrong. So what did I call that? I called that create VNV. So create VNV, if you've already forgotten, just looks like this. Oh, forgot the shebang as well. So bin bash, always nice to have. So we find the Python command, and then we create the VNV. Yeah. And then we source it, and then we install all the stuff. I guess, like, we don't need this part. We don't need the if statement, since we were already checking to see if the VNV already exists. So that's fine. Then we'll also want to do like the debug thing, which is this part. If OS is debug build, boom, boom, one of these. There is no exe path since we're not executing anything like that just yet. This will be create VNV script. And then create VNV, one of these. Right. Cool. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense for me to yield until something is done. So we can yield on... Yeah, you know what? We can yield for a signal here. We can yield for a signal. So we'll like exit this entire function, start tracker. Where is start tracker called from? Oh no. So we can yield... That's the tough part about Godot, is that you need to yield occasionally, or maybe just kind of wait for something to happen, which is always kind of tough. So start tracker, start receiver. I don't know if this is a good idea to yield from this function. Maybe it's better just to block. Because then you need to bubble up the yield, I think. Otherwise. Right, once you yield from this function will resume. Or this function, yeah, this function will unblock itself, and then it'll start the start receiver, and then it's tracking stuff. But then it won't be exactly as, you know, you kind of expect things to work. It might still be okay. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I wonder if it's better just to like loop until we receive a signal, right? So we run something kind of asynchronously, and then we just wait for it to complete. Maybe. Or we can run it just on like another thread. Just like a really quick, you know, here's a thread. I'll have to think about it. So create VNV script with one option, which is the something. Blocking, which is true. We want to block, and then we want the output. Actually, what are we going to be doing with the output? Yeah, there's no reason for me to store the output. Like as soon as this works, right? Because it blocks. Yeah. Like, we just want this to run. Yeah, okay. But where are we creating the VNV, by the way? Ooh, create OSF Linux. Okay. Sure. User data path. Oh, it's user data path. I knew that. I knew that. So in theory, this should work. So what I've just written here, and it's also completely untestable on Windows, by the way. But what this should do is we check to see if there's already a VNV. We create a pop-up, just notifying the user that we are, or I guess initializing. Hello, knock. Did you just succeed despite my abandonment? Nope. I gave up pretty quickly. Yeah. Turns out, brain F very difficult. I think I would have an easier time, you know, writing that in like Objective C. My brain is too smooth to do brain F. Did you finish AOC in something else? Nope. Consider doing it in Python just to do it really quickly, but I think if it's that easy, might not do it at all. Although maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll just do them all in one go one of these days, or I'll do it like a kind of like a weekly thing, so you're not going to gain anything from it. It's a bit. I'm not really a huge fan of code golf, right? Like that's not really my jam. It gets hard very quickly. Yeah. Like the way that I solve a lot, it's not code. Well, you're solving problems in like some sort of way that is not like useful for anything, right? It's just like it's like a programming exercise. Like, oh, like look at me, I know how to do problem solving. I was like, yeah, sure. I'm not a huge fan of problem solving for the sake of problem solving, if that makes sense. Well, it's useful. Useful for what? Internet points, bragging rights, measuring the size of your programming schlong, if you have one. Even if you don't have one, it allows you to gain one, I suppose. Practice? I don't need practice. This is practice. I'm already practicing. We're writing things for OS X and or X11 that I wouldn't normally do. And also is completely impractical for me to test on my own. I really side-eye anyone who can't solve questions like that. Well, good thing that I can solve questions like that. Hopefully what I'm doing is a bit more complicated than whatever they were doing. So that shouldn't be an issue, hopefully. Yeah, you can. Oh, thanks for believing in me. So now I don't need to embarrass myself by Googling the answers. Initializing VNV. Well, this is like first time, yeah. Initializing VNV for the first time. Well, it's like first time setup, creating VNV. You're just lazy. Well, see, this is actually useful though, right? More or less. So what the intention of this is, so this is what I implemented while you weren't here really quickly, is boom, just a really quick script to hit you with a pop-up. You can click out of it, but it's just enabling FXAA will cause transparent backgrounds that malfunction if you have transparent backgrounds enabled. So that'll happen the first time you hit it, then you can toggle it on and off whenever you want. Nothing will happen. And then the intention is that for on Linux, right? So when you click Start Tracker on Linux, it needs to run through this script right here. And then we'll also take out these things. Right? So this is the script. So we look for the Python command. This works. We activate the VNV, and then we just run the Python command. However, currently it's not obvious what's happening while you're just kind of waiting for the VNV to install all of the required packages. So that's what this is supposed to do, which is here, question mark. Yeah, here, yeah. So we have a pop-up that just says, you know, what we're doing. This will block. Actually, I wonder if we can make this a bit better. So we'll just yield for get tree idle frame, I suppose. So we'll wait 1 frame to let the thing pop up. We'll execute this stuff, and then I guess we'll just wait 1 more idle frame, I suppose. So this will block. This will block the main thread, so you can't do anything. And then we'll hit it with a pop-up queue free. I think that should be okay. That should be okay. It's a bit jank. It would be better to do this asynchronously. So just call this, or I guess yield for this to complete. Or call another function and then wait for that to complete, or wait for a signal. But the problem is that in Godot, you need to bubble up every single one of your yields, which is somewhat difficult. So once we yield from this function, the start tracker function, we would also need to yield here in toggle tracker, since that calls start tracker. So we would need to, you know, bubble up twice, which is tough. So there's a few ways that you can do it. You can just wait for signals, so you don't really need to bubble up, I suppose. You would still need to yield at every single level, but you wouldn't need to pass around a GDScript function state. You would just need to listen for signals, but that's always a bit tough. I think it's a bit unmaintainable, but in theory this works, because I know that these commands on their own work. This command on its own works as well. We're not able to store, you know, shell state between OS execute calls, which is why I need to find the Python command every single time. I suppose what I could do is just look for the Python command using a different function or using a different script. I'm probably not going to do that though. I think it's just easier to just to check for Python command in both of these. Yeah, so we'll create the pop-up, OS executes, and then pop-up queue free. I think that is okay. So what we're going to do is we'll create a new branch. I think everything should be saved. Get status. So, yeah, that looks all right. Get and check out. So this, we'll call it features or feature. Add pop-up to VNV creation. Git add all. Really should start using git add -- all as opposed to git add star. Because I'm pretty sure git add -- all calls the program like the git command to look for all valid files, whereas I think star just gets everything in the current directory according to the current shell command, so it's not actually, is less portable, I think. I'm not sure. I know there is a difference though. I've always just used git add star though. Separate out VNV creation for performance reasons, because I know that on some people's systems, running through this script here, or not this one, pip install, and then waiting for pip to do its thing can be kind of slow. So we'll want to try to bypass that if we can. So separate out VNV creation for performance reasons, add pop-up notifying user of first time startup. Git push u origin. Add pop-up. Alright. So what I'm gonna do as well, really quickly. You know, I wonder, is NumPy implemented on M1 Max? NumPy M1 support. NumPy. Probably not. Yeah. Probably not. We can check it, just somewhat asynchronously. And by asynchronously, I mean like not on stream, since a little Mac monitoring thing on my other screen here is not hooked into the stream, although it would be nice. I wonder, how would you do that? I guess I would need to have like a completely separate broadcast computer that also watches additional computer screens. That might be kind of cool. I don't know. Might be neat. Might be neat. No idea how you would do that, but I'll leave it to the people smarter than me to figure it out. Git check out. Master git pull. And I love how snappy M1 Max feel. Git check out feature. Alright, then we'll start Godot on my Mac, and you're not gonna see too much, but I assure you I'm actually doing stuff. Just gotta wait for it. Unable to load add-on from script. Goot. There's a Goot plugin actually, or there's a Goot error. Possibly an import error. Huh. I forgot how, like, I wonder if that's what some people were talking about in my Discord before, where they were running into import errors in Goot, which is Godot unit test. I wonder if that was it. Or is it Goot plugin? There's an error here. Maybe not. Ooh. Oh, Goot has a JUnit exporter? Why? You can export the results of a Godot unit test in JUnit XML format? That's bizarre. Also very interesting. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, is my Mac about to hard crash? Oh, my Mac just hard crashed. Pink screened. Full reboot. Oh, baby. That's a good sign. You hate to see that. Well, that's still probably okay. Still probably okay, I don't know. Enter my password, see if I can sign in again. What happened? Give me the deets. Give me the deets. What's the crash report looking like? I like how the profile picture I always use for a lot of pretty much all my computers is like the picture I took way back in high school. So that's like maybe 10 years ago now. Looks pretty good, IMO. Kernel, oh, it panics, kernel data aborts. Very nice. Shut up, Discord. What happened here? Let's see. Panic. Panicked. IO kit, IO GPU family. Nice. Might be a Godot thing, yeah. It might just be that Godot does not run properly on M1 Max anymore, which would be a huge shame, even though I've tried it recently. So let's try it again. Oh, yeah, there's the hard crash one more time. All right, so it does not work on M1 Max, confirmed. All right, you know what, really quick. Luckily, I do have another just Linux laptop just lying around. We're not going to start streaming from Linux. Not a Linux streamer. I know that getting Linux computers set up to do streaming can be kind of tough. But maybe since I'm using Fedora, it won't be too bad. Maybe since it's Fedora, it won't be too bad. But I have no idea what I'm talking about. One of the fun things about Fedora, though, is that sometimes it'll just break for no reason. Like, sometimes I just won't be able to connect to the internet. That's my favorite part, is because the network manager never comes up. Presumably because something in system D broke. And then, so I can't do like an ifconfig down up. Just to restart the exact network device, I have to, I guess, explicitly start it back up, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. All right, here we go. Start it on Linux. Hold on. We need to delete everything properly first. So we'll go to where is it? It's in user, home, local, share, Godot, app user data. We'll delete the VNV. Why not? Say goodbye. Let's see how this feels. Oh, interesting. So it does not properly block. Very cool, very cool. It also does not give me a good error message either. Oh, okay. So I made an error somewhere. Hold on. I'm now juggling like 2 computers. I'm actually juggling 3 computers on my desk. Alright, so here. Which one of these? One of these is wrong. So, let me see. Line 15, run OSF Linux. Line 15. Hey. What did this create then? Oh, it didn't actually create anything. Run OSF Linux. So this is running in debug, so that's okay. Face tracker started. So run line 15. Does this need to be... What am I passing in as the first argument? So the first argument should be the user data path. So this is globalized. Maybe it's just this? Ooh? Eh? That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right at all. Hold on. We can do this in 2 places at once. So we'll hit it with a quick print user data path in Linux. Run it one more time. Start the tracker. Stop the tracker. Okay. So I think I need to cut off the last part of this. Or maybe not. So if we do one of these, change this, because this is... How did this work before, actually? Now that I'm thinking about it, how did this work before? Like, there's no way that this should have worked before then. Right. So let's hit this with git status. Git. What is the diff? Nah, that's fine. Git. So this is just a git commit. Hit it with a fix up. Git rebase interactive. I know that some people don't like rebasing, but they don't like squashing commits, but I'm actually a big fan of it. It just makes your commit history just a lot more sensible to read. But that's one of those things that people tend to geez. Alright, hold on. Git check out master. Git rebase. Alright, that's one of the hard parts, is when you're working on multiple computers. No rebase in what? Git merge abort. Git branch big D delete whatever the feature was. Again, git check out. Alright, so let's give it one more try, and then we will. Nope. I think we broke again. No such file or directory. Ah, interesting. Interesting. So it's not working on my side. So create VMV is not working. That's tough. That's tough. So why isn't this working? I feel like that should have been okay, but maybe not. So let's run through the logic one more time. So user data path comes with a, or I guess, is this exe path also incorrect? That exe path might also be incorrect, but it's just kind of figuring it out. Maybe. I don't know. That seems weird. This seems slightly incorrect, but I'm not a scientist or anything. Not one of those programming nerds, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I wonder if it's not even running it though. No, I think it is. It's running the script. It's running the script. Definitely running the script. But it's not blocking for OS execute completion. So this gives you an int sometimes, not always. But it'll give you an exit code at the very least. So if we do, I guess we can just hit it with a print. That's always a good one to hit it with. Let's see where we broke. It ended with what's a 126 exit code? Yeah, bash 126. Return 126. Exit status. Error with bash script. Exit code 126. Command not executable. Oh, it needs to be executable. I always forget that's something that you actually need to do. Okay, so we'll command it plus X, resources, scripts, create VNV. And then we block. It takes a little bit to create everything. It doesn't actually pop anything up, but then the face tracker actually starts, which is cool. Okay, so that's cool, I guess. I think on my Linux, on my Mac, I'll need to do it actually. But the pop-up never actually shows up. I wonder, hold on. There's not really too much I can show you, unfortunately. I think we will want to block for input though. Nope, it never shows up. That's very strange. Yeah. But this is what we need to do. Is one, pop up queue free. We can get rid of all of these. This doesn't actually add the child in time. Maybe unless we yield twice. I don't know. That seems a bit wrong, but maybe it'll work. Because we do need to wait for just enough time, I suppose. For the... Yeah. We do need to yield twice. That is very strange. Yield twice just to allow for enough time for the tracker to start setting up. Yeah, so we can close this, close Godot, say goodbye. Goodbye, Linux computer. I think this is all right. What is the diff? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, didn't make too many changes actually. Now you might be asking, was that your work computer? And it was. And that was my work computer. But yeah, there it is. So what this does, right, is we check to see if this thing exists. If it does not exist, if the VNV does not exist, then we will show a pop-up to the user saying that we are waiting for the thing to finish installing, and then, then that's that. And then once it's finished installing, the pop-up won't go away. I think, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I actually need to think about that. Maybe I'll just make you confirm it. That's fine. And then the rest of the things should execute, so then we can do. Unfortunately, you're not able to commod in git bash on Windows. I need to do it on an actual Unix compatible system. So this might be where it would be nice to have like Windows subsystem for Linux installed, but I don't. All right, let's hit it with another fix up, even though this caused me a lot of headaches before. Git rebase interactive head 2. Hit it with a git push force. Everyone loves a git push force. And then we just need to commod it really quickly. So we'll go to terminal here on my Mac, because this makes it really easy for me to push. Check out master, git branch, big delete, feature, git pull. Maybe one of these days I actually need to like set up a Linux portion on this computer to make it really easy for me to do stuff. Git check out feature. And then we will commod +X resources scripts. I think that is something that's kind of irks me sometimes, is because when people see that I primarily use Windows as my development platform, they think I don't know. They don't think I know Linux. Joke's on you, I'm probably better at Linux than you are. Most people, actually. Considering that I work in infrastructure automation professionally. I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone, I guess, like in terms of just like book knowledge, I suppose you could find a lot of people better than me, but I think in terms of problem solving on various systems, it's hard to get better than this. Not bragging, of course. Git commit. Actually, that was like 100% a brag, but it's all right. I think I've earned it. I think I've earned the right to brag about my Linux abilities at this point in time. Make script executable. Do it with a push. There we go. Now we'll go back to here, git status. Actually, we technically don't need to pull. Like, there's nothing to do here. But here, compare and pull request. Create pull request. Right, files changed. So we add a create vmv.sh script. We have modified the run os app linux script. Have also modified the pop-up to not be visible in the editor. That makes no difference. We've also done a little bit of cleanup and then added this entire block of code here. How nice. So git check out master. I think I'm just going to push it, or I think I'm just going to send it. There we go. Gotta love it when you just send it. It works on, I guess, one of my machines. It actually hard crashes my Mac, but that's okay. I think when you're running on Linux, you just gotta get over yourself. Or I guess when you're running on Mac, not Linux. When you're running on Mac, you just gotta get over yourself. Understand that you've chosen this bed, now you must lay in it, etc., etc. Right, if you want to live in the walled garden, I won't stop you. Just know that's gonna be very painful for you. Yeah, there we go. We have better Linux support. We just have random pop-ups now. Everyone loves pop-ups. What else do we need to do? Didn't do any of the things I said were in progress. But yeah, it seems all right. Seems all right. Can't complain too much about that. Can't complain too much about that. Yeah. Want to see if this is really quick to do, and then that'll be like the last thing we do today. And the thing that I'm talking about here is probably the double toggle element here. So this label needs to be... Actually, yeah. Isn't it, if you just have like a really long label, if I set it to auto wrap, that should solve the issue of, you know, if the bone names that you're using are just way too long, that should just fix it, I think. I don't know. I don't really have an example of something where the bone name would be too long. I guess I can try to force it. Do you have any really long names? So if I just... I don't really want to squish it. I don't know what's going to happen if I squish it. You know what? I don't know. Let's send it. Let's squish it. Doesn't quite work as I expected. Ooh. That's interesting. Oh, I'm looking at my OBS layout. I do like how the 3D model stays fairly consistent, but OBS kind of freaks out. Yeah, I'm thinking that if we just make this the label auto wrap, I think it should be okay. And we can also just clip text. as well. Yeah, I wonder if this change will just make sense. So we just git status. Git. Let's not commit straight to the branch. Let's git checkout branch. Bug fix. Bug fix. Auto wrap phone names. Add auto wrapping to phone names. View origin. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. Alright, I wonder, this must be using a lot of action hours, by the way. How many... How does anyone know how good, like, GitHub Actions work? Like, I must have some sort of limits on how many actions I can run. How do you check that? Is there a GitHub Actions limit? Usage, yeah, sure. Billing, usage limits, total concurrent jobs. Okay, cool. So it's just concurrent jobs, but like you get like a certain amount of jobs. That's neat. Oh, and they also provide like Mac OS jobs as well. That's really cool. I think. I mean, I know how it would work, right? So you can have Windows jobs, you can have Linux jobs, right? Because Windows, pretty easy to virtualize. Linux, super easy to virtualize. Mac, you cannot legally virtualize it, I think, right? You would have to make a Hackintosh if you wanted to virtualize it, and thus you are kind of constrained to only buying like Mac Minis if you wanted to have like a Mac box, you know, or to run build jobs on. That's all right. Anyways, that's pretty much it, I think. Git master, let's pull. So this is what we've done today. Yeah, let's reload, I guess. This is what we've done today. So we've implemented pop-ups. Also did some testing for the tracker stuff, so it's a bit more, I guess, easy to use on Linux. Only had to work through a few crashes on Mac OS. And then also, hopefully fixed this thing here, which is if your bone names are too long, it actually causes this to scroll to the right. Whereas now, if it doesn't fit in the container, it will just expand down vertically, which is not great, but could be a lot worse. So I'll take it. I'll take it. I think something that I could also do in the future, that might be a neat feature to have, feature, is probably like at the top of each one of these kind of columns, we could have a button, like a pop-out button, right? Since I'm using a lot of pop-ups in the application already, what I could do is, you know, if you just want to have something just be tracked on screen all the time, what I could do is you could click on the pop-up button. It'll pop this out into just its own kind of window dialog. It's not really a window dialog. What would it be called? It would be called a, I guess it'd just be like a window dialog, I guess, but there's no dialogue. It's a window dialog with no dialogue, right? And it would just kind of exist at all times. I suppose you would also want the ability to, I don't know, close it, and then it'll just go back to its original position. But if you wanted to have like two menus on screen at once, I suppose that could be okay. Yeah. I think I prefer this over how VC Face does it, so. Oh, this is wrong, by the way. Or actually, that's not wrong. This is actually totally correct, because we're not using a transparent background. Yeah. But neat. anyways, that's gonna be it for me for today. Thanks for tuning in. I will be live tomorrow from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. Come check me out then. If you haven't given the channel a follow, I highly encourage you to do so. You can find all of the things I've been working on my GitHub. So this is OpenCFaceGD, so we can go there. Why not? Let's go there. There we go. There's OpenCFaceGD. The latest changes are not in the latest release, but should still be fairly usable. Really working on a lot of quality of life improvements. The next big thing before I can really call this done, I suppose here's the list. Here's the list. I think let's add prop tracking. So I've had props in my application for a while. I think I saw something like VCFace has the ability to load in just PNGs and GIFs, I guess, whereas my thing has the ability to load in PNGs. I don't know if I have the ability to load in GIFs. I've never tried, but it also will just work with random 3D models as well. The hard part about making props track your model is that model tracking doesn't work how you would think it would work. Right? So like if you wanted to add like a hat to your model, you would need to have like a specific bone for that to attach to. You can't just say like I want it to attach to like the head bone, because there is a head bone, but the origin point for the head bone is actually at the bottom of the bone, bottom of the head, where the bone starts. The bone tip is actually kind of hard to figure out, because I'm not sure if that data is actually exposed in a lot of cases. I think it's just mapped to the mesh. So you could try to calculate it, but it's a bit harder done than said. Like it seems obvious, but the data just isn't there unless you specifically, you know, rig your model to allow for that. But yeah, the big thing is automatic facial expression support. So right now, these models support, look at that, facial expressions. So these just, oh, I need to clear these out, by the way. So I think that's a bug currently. Let's see. Fix blend shapes not clearing on model load. Yeah, but there's a bunch of facial expressions. What I would like to do is have some sort of menu or something where you can kind of hot configure facial expressions. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, there's the GitHub. Here's the Discord. Let me see. All the other social media stuff I don't really use. Like I technically have a Twitter, but I don't know. Just give the project stars on GitHub. That's pretty much that's all I'm asking. I beg of you. Also made pretty much everything else that you see on screen, like this thing right here. Look at that. Whee. Who needs stream avatars when you have Godot? But yeah, just check out peep the profile. Everything's there. And I will see you later. Goodbye, I guess. Actually, I don't know. Let's raid someone, I guess. Who's doing Godot? Is any of the usual suspects doing Godot? So there's Arrow. Yeah. Oh, this person's doing a thing. All right, let's I don't know. Yeah, let's. Always a bit tough. Always a bit tough. Let's raid. Let's raid Arrow Axe. He's doing Godot. Everyone loves doing Godot. Godot. No, that's Kaitan. All right. Well, anyways, I guess you're about to be sent. I messed up the Control C. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll just roll with it. Anyways, get sent.